Hello, hello, everyone who's here and in the future. We're going to start lying on our backs today for our brief little half hour together through sun and moon's portals on Zoom and YouTube. And I saw that Lisa Sajowski is signed up today, and so many friends. I keep a list of who's attended, a long list. But right now I'm blanking on names. So as I think I mentioned, we're on the ground. So make sure what's comfortable for you. If much of the time when we're doing our little mini movement, knees will be bent, but you could have something under the knees some of the time for when we let the legs go long. You could have something under your head. If it's available and easy, what's often good is to have something that's sort of a lot like a folded beach towel, something that you could have a rectangular so that if you roll your head, you're on the same level surface, which our head will probably roll a little bit with today's activity. Gracious, it's mid-February. As I was chatting with Jackie beforehand, thinking about so many themes today. The peace monks are walking into our town here near DC very soon, tomorrow, I think. Who have been walking from Texas for, is it months now? I think it's several months. The Olympics have begun, the Winter Olympics, some excitement around that. It's Valentine's weekend coming up. It's the Super Bowl for some people. So many exciting things. And here we are coming together to explore the opposite poles of the yin of life, the quieter, the darker, the hidden, the deep, the yin, where it's the opposite of what's these terms that are used in the conversations around the addictive nature of our social media and technology. The dopamine hit we get, something in our brains that leads us to wanting more, expecting more, to going for the yang as opposed to the yin, the activity, the thinking, the planning. And there is so much benefit, as I say over and over again, to dropping into the quiet, to that space before the word, to the mysterious, to the still. And by doing that, we bring a wholeness to ourselves. We complement the yang, and in a sense, the wholeness becomes more potent, more alive, more vibrant, more integrated. Well, wholeness is already integrated, but we seem to dwell in the parts, and then by bringing the yang, we integrate it. So I'm going to read to you as you arrive. Hopefully you've been arriving, but now the word leaves my lips and you hear it. Arriving on the ground, which is for me often such a sweet feeling of feeling support, of feeling the parts of me, the back body as opposed to the front is more yin. We don't see it in the mirror as much, so we literally don't have as many lit up nerve endings back there on the back. But by attending, by taking this time to notice how the shoulder blade there might be speaking to you as it meets the ground, how the lower back, the legs, we start to turn on those lights at the intersections of all the webs of the nerves as they form that web back there. So as you continue scanning your back body supported by the ground, I heard a poem this morning, thanks to YouTube. Thanks to YouTube. It fed it up for me. I was listening to some David Whyte recently, and it knew about it. So this poem I don't think I'd heard before. I'm going to read half of it to you, and I'll share the rest of it on the notes in YouTube, and I'll send to an email of those of you who registered. It's called What to Remember When Waking. In that first, hardly noticed moment in which you wake, coming back to this life from the other, more secret, movable, and frighteningly honest world where everything began, there is a small opening into the new day, which closes the moment you begin your plans. What you can plan is too small for you to live. What you can live wholeheartedly will make plans enough for the vitality hidden in your sleep. To be human is to become visible while carrying what is hidden as a gift to others. To remember the other world in this world is to live your true inheritance. There is a small opening into the new day, which closes the moment you begin your plans. What you can live, what you can plan is too small for you to live. What you can live wholeheartedly will make plans enough for the vitality hidden in your sleep. So there is nothing wrong with a plan. There's nothing wrong with thinking. But just and just over and over as you remember, if you leave there, go back to that quiet place, the still place. The space that's holding the breath as it moves. The space that is unchanged by any thought, um, any ebullience, any distress, any dog barking in the distance. And just play with. You may choose to do this like going back and forth, like going to the feel of the quiet still, and then noticing something of your body as it meets the ground, or the breath, or the boundary of yourself as it meets the temperature of the room around you. So something of your body. And like a slow toggling, like going to the spaciousness that you can feel, the spaciousness of stillness and of this eternal moment that I've referred to as the vertical that's always right here, always available right here for us. While the horizontal, the time bound, the change, the moving, the feeling of the shoulder, the feeling, I keep saying shoulder, I've got an achy shoulder. So I'm projecting that for you, but it might be the feel of your the back ribs and the lung space back there, and how close is it to the ground? How does it register? Or the small of your back that might have a little space underneath it. So toggling. We'll take a couple more minutes of just feeling body, feeling that dark stillness. And that stillness, that this present now moment, you might feel it by going real deep into feeling like, oh, where's the very center of my being? And you might just be feeling it. I feel its presence with us here together, probably in our intent, or I don't know how this happens exactly, but I feel it. in that, but I also feel it like a little bit expansive. You might feel it as if you're looking down at yourself. And these are all just little tools to help us. The feeling is sort of prior to that, the feeling of being. All right, now, if your legs are long along the ground, if you're in a chair, I think this was already on the recording. If you're choosing to be on a chair, I hope you're on a chair that you can lean back into, that maybe like a couch or armchair that has, you're almost not at 90 degrees, but you're back a little bit more. And reach your arms out in front of you. So I'm going to do this. Yeah, I'm going to join you on the, no, I'm going to stay seated because sometimes it's hard to hear me. So reach your arms out in front of you. So if you're on the ground, the fingertips are pointing to the sky, and bring the palms together like a prayer hands. And imagine the palms are glued together. So super glue, they're not coming apart. And then reach with your arms upward, or if you're in a chair, reach outward in front of you, and then let the shoulders fall back down onto the ground. And then reach out in front of you and let the shoulders fall back. So this can be, this is my default. I go to the deepest movement, and I go far, but that's a little achy for me. So let the movement be smooth, light. You don't have to go for deep sensation, deep stretch. In fact, I think for our intents and purposes here, just a luxurious, integrated, a feeling of all the body is all connected. As you feel your arms move, you might feel the spine change its shape and pull on the low back and hips a little. Breathing, add the breath, attention to the breath. Going slowly is helpful to feeling more, and keeping that sense of that spaciousness of our being right here. And then let it go. Let the arms relax. Let your mouth and jaw and tongue relax. So that movement where we kind of lifted or brought forward our upper chest and upper torso by the movement of the arms also may have pulled the neck a little longer, tilted the head. And so often after the movement, when we pause, we just get to rest easily into that spacious stillness. All right, take the movement again, palms out in front of you. Pull forward a little and then relax back or drop the shoulders back. So you can do it a couple different ways, lots of different ways actually. You can pull the shoulders back just a few times and let the camera, the aperture of your attention draw to feeling the sides of the arms, the armpits, the upper chest. Palms together, reaching out, and then coming back. And then let it go again. And just relax. Feel a sense of stillness. That stillness that in the poem he mentions, he likens that we have that in our dream state or in our sleep. that is more secret, movable, and frighteningly honest. There can be like when we get very still, there can be a feel that we almost it gets a little scary, partly because it's unfamiliar and there's no edges. So part of my invitation to stay there in the still place, especially when we have the support of this group, of each other, of our practice, it helps us to remember that we're absolutely safe here. And still just you might just pop back into activity out of the stillness. And again, there's no issue with that, no problem. Okay, so again, this is really beneficial if you can be leaning your back on the ground or onto the chair somewhere. So the next part of this movement, we again bring our palms together in front of our heart, reaching the elbows are long and straight. In this next movement, we roll a little bit, just keep the palms together and let this whole steeple tip to the side a little bit. So the shoulders roll, the head rolls, just tipping a little to the side, arms long. For a moment, I'm going to lay down and do this just so for the video, it's got the benefit of the image of what this is. And really guard here against coming too far, too fast, too deep. I like to pull my arms out. I forgot about that part. Pull them out as if up away from you and then roll, but not too much. Here again, I find myself working very hard. Go lightly. And the movement, you may not go that far. That's okay. It's not about how far we're going. It's about the experience. There's so much in the experience of rolling here. The way the shoulders now feel, the way when they roll against the ground. And as you come back to center, pause there, relax your arms down. And then let's bring the hands back together out in front of you, extended like a steeple. And then begin to roll to the other side, slowly, lightly, maybe pulling the arms out away from you. Nice, keeping the elbows straight and tilt your shoulders and arms over toward the ground in the other direction. Head might roll a little. You'll feel the rotation of your spine, the hips, the knees and hips can go a little to the side. So lifting up and rolling to the side. And then coming back to center. Tilting to the side, feeling the whole body all together, the wholeness of yourself. And then let it go again. Relax the arms down. Notice the parts of you that may be speaking to you, reporting. Maybe they've come online a little bit more, they've lit up. So this is for me, just I hadn't done this movement for a long time, and I did it yesterday or the day before, and it's so delicious, especially with, as I mentioned, my shoulder a little achy, the snow shoveling, if you're in that territory with us. So now a slightly different one. So you might choose to try this out, throughout the week now and then, or whenever you remember. It's a really nice movement, and the more you do it, the more you'll loosen up, you'll feel more integrated. But now I'm going to break it down to one arm at a time. So now just reach from lying down on your back or leaning back into a nice cozy couch or chair. Reach one arm out, up, reach as high as you can. Your head and shoulder may turn a bit, and then I like to drop it back down like a almost like a post, like when they're putting a fence post into the ground. So reach up and then just drop it back down. It's a really nice massage for the shoulder there, that dropping. But if that's feeling too violent on your body, certainly, just do it gently, just lower down gently. That's fine. As usual, tailor for yourself. Whatever the supposed experienced guide is suggesting to you, this is your journey. Tailor it for yourself. Okay, let that one go. So we did that with one arm. Relax, perhaps as you get to that still place. Feel its spaciousness. Feel that it's how wonderful it can feel to rest here. Feel that things come through, the bird sound, the possibly contrasting feel of the two shoulders now. And then we'll go to the other side. Reach the other arm up, 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 or out in front of you if you're in the chair or couch, and then pull it back, drop it back. Let the head roll. Let the adjacent parts of the body, all the connected parts, feel their participation. About that, guys. So we were moving our arms. Let's relax down. Relax down. From here, perhaps you'll choose to just stay on the ground where you are. Or perhaps you'll just gently, lightly, attentively roll up to sitting from the reclining position. Or if you've been in a chair and you could stay where you are or sit with that forward with your spine more vertical. And whoa, I forgot my bell. So we'll start the meditation stillness with a bell. About 5 minutes. And perhaps that idea of dropping back to the moment from waking up from sleep, before any planning begins. Perhaps that can inform this stillness, silence, this just being. Where we just feel what so many teachers have called the light of our awareness. That requires no effort. And as something might come into your experience that is different than what you think you should be doing now, or feeling or experiencing, try to remind yourself, I remind you, that that's just another little moment of waking up, of awakening to that which we already are, that is unchanged as the parade of life goes on. Perhaps relaxing a little more through the eyes as if they widen apart, through the facial muscles, through the jaw and tongue. And for these last moments of our stillness and practice together, give a little extra attention to the feel of your exhale. And before you come out of your stillness, I'll reread that first half of David Whyte's poem. You'll have the second half of it when I send it to you, or on the YouTube notes. What to remember when waking. In that first hardly noticed moment in which you wake, coming back to this life from the other, more secret, movable, and frighteningly honest world where everything began, there is a small opening into the new day, which closes the moment you begin your plans. What you can plan is too small for you to live. What you can live wholeheartedly will make plans enough for the vitality hidden in your sleep. To become human is to become visible while carrying what is hidden as a gift to others. To remember the other world in this world is to live in your true inheritance. I'll just give you a hint that the rest of the poem moves towards his life as a writer. It applies to all our lives, but some of you out there are writers, and you'll also enjoy that special bit of it. Mm. So as you perhaps you'll just stay where you are in the luxury of your space and continue sensing that sense of being and however it unfolds moment to moment. Or perhaps you'll join me in bringing palms together and bringing this practice to a close with the respect to ourselves and a bow and to each other and to the whole. For as I made the phrase, the whole parade of life. Thank you all again for joining me. I'll just mention one thing before I stop the recording. This afternoon is not much lead time, but our friends at Sun and Moon, Marjorie and Christine, are holding I think it's a 3, maybe it's 4-hour meditation after. I think they're calling it a wintering afternoon. It's a model that Jackie and I and Virginia had done, offering a day or several days, but Jackie and I distilled it to just an afternoon even of like a retreat. And even though it's, at the yoga studio for like, I think it was 4 hours, it's such a delicious thing to do to just kind of, it's a special place, a special time. And even though it's only 3 or 4 hours, the richness of, they'll share movement, some readings, a sound bath. Christine is, skilled with bells and chimes and things, which is wonderful. That is only available in person here, for those of you a bit farther away, sorry. But it's a delicious thing to do, and they offer it, about quarterly or every 6 months or so, or every 3 months, so you can check that out. Alrighty, thank you all again for coming. I'm gonna sign off from the, future people, and then the rest of you on Zoom could stay for a little bit.